Hitman Hart, the best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
What's going on, everybody? It's The Rewind, that weekly show brought to you by Smacked Raw that RN and I produce, which lets you know pretty much everything that's going on in and outside the professional wrestling ring in the last week or so. We're your host. My name's Cal Tyson.
And I am Mr. 8984, RN, the brains, the beauty, and just the brains and beauty this week. I lost my train of thought, so we'll just go with those two.
We'll go with those two. You're going to ride out that trivia win till the end of time, RN. I swear to God, you won that junk like 6 months. It was like 6 months ago. Let it go.
It doesn't matter when you win Money in the Bank. It just matters when you cash it in.
Let it go, RN. Okay, no one even remembers that. I think you're making it up at this point.
You remember it. That's all that matters.
I don't remember shit, all right?
Yeah, I know. That's why I beat you.
Hey, you guys, welcome to the show. I hope you all had a great time with SummerSlam. We got that in the bank. We're going to talk a lot of SummerSlam tonight. I got a couple minor things RN and I might dive into. We might reflect on what's being perceived as renewed optimism in either WWE as the company or creative decisions that they're going to make down the road. And then also me and RN might tackle some wrestlers that we think might either re-sign or just sign in general with WWE. It's going to be a very, very WWE heavy show. In fact, I don't think I have a bit of AEW on my radar this week, shockingly. And even if I did, it's nobody's talking about AEW this week anyways. Everything. Let's not
be that show.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. They get plenty of attention from us. This is a very cool time. I personally was at SummerSlam. I watched it live. I actually got some really good seats. Funny,
those were good seats for sure.
Yeah, quick little story about that. So we went out to our seats and we sat down for about 45 minutes, soaking in the view. Some guys came over and they were like, hey, is this row, I forget, like 109 or whatever. And I was like, nah, man, that's one down that way. They leave and they come back and they were like, hey, this is actually section 109. Are you guys section 110? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, you're one section down that way. So our great seats that we were enjoying for 45 minutes got even better because we sat down in the wrong damn seats for like the majority of an hour. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
That's legit.
It was dope. And then I did go back. I wanted to because the experience of the pay-per-view was vastly different live than it was watching the broadcast with like Michael Cole's great commentary. So I'm
not a fan of live entertainment. I've come to realize that now. My last couple wrestling shows I've gone to and the last couple sporting events, like I can admit it, like I'm not a live person. Like I love the atmosphere and I love being able to say I was there, but I've just as I've gotten older, those tiny ass seats, like you said, no commentary, the weird breaks in the middle where they're like hyping up the crowd and shit, like pretending like they care about what city they're in. Like all of it is just like the $20 fucking beers, $10 hot dogs. Like I've just come to the realization that it's live events aren't for me.
I will say this. If we could be close enough to hear the wrestlers in the ring, like talking shit to each other and stuff, right, I think it would make a world of difference. Because I'm not going to lie. Where we were sitting, as close as it felt, we were far enough away that when Becky and Bianca, because they opened up SummerSlam, right, we couldn't hear a damn thing. Couldn't hear them hitting each other. Couldn't hear them talking shit. It was like watching a wrestling match on mute. It was really awkward at first. Now, as the men started wrestling, you could hear the impacts more, and we got more and more into the show. But yeah, it is a little surreal trying to watch that junk on mute.
Were y'all able to see that side of the ring once they lifted it up, or was that all of that blocked out from y'all?
So I don't know. Like, were you aware that only half the stadium was filled?
Yeah, I knew it was just like the backside or whatever.
I guess I would say about maybe like 2/3 of the stadium were full because you had the two ends, and then my side were filled. The other end was completely blocked off. The end that was blocked off, we couldn't see nothing. Like I couldn't see nothing over where the commentary was, and then the opposite side. But so yeah, when Brock lifted up the ring, I couldn't see any of that. Couldn't see AJ Styles come in and take out Ciampa. But for the most part, we saw everything, and then plus you had the giant screens. We could see all that. That was fine. All right, really quick, let's get this out of the way. For anybody watching video, this is actually a good time to plug Twitch. You can catch the show live typically on Sundays at 9 p.m., although I was on the way back from Nashville yesterday, so that's why RN and I are shooting tonight on Monday. Part of these live streams is getting to see the cameo from my son DJ here, who just loves to be on screen. DJ.
It's not a rewind if DJ doesn't show up.
Hey.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Hold on. Okay, hold on. All right. Uncle RN's going to say hi to you.
What's up, buddy?
Good.
All right. Say, follow us on Twitch.
Mama's a shit.
There we go. Good boy. All right. Go back to your room. Go watch the movie.
He looks more like Jess with short hair than he did when he had his long hair.
Yeah, it's crazy, though. Everybody says he's a spitting image of me. I'll take whatever I can get, man. Yeah. Shit. Okay, plugging Twitch. There we go. Yeah, live Twitch. Sundays, 9 p.m. You can always catch the replays over on youtube.com/smackedraw. And then, of course, these audio versions are flipping everywhere. I'm going to try and lower the F-bomb count, RN. The last episode of the Rewind we did, I went on that story and tangent about how my wife messed up her toe. And without knowing it, I dropped apparently 25 F-bombs in that 6-minute clip. It was pointed out to me by both my wife and some family members. So I'm going to try.
So essentially, like we said, you got in trouble for that.
It just felt awkward, okay? Because I'm in my mid-30s, but I realize that I still treat like all my aunts and uncles and everything like I'm a proper like 8-year-old kid. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not giving you shit for that. Like if my mom was alive, my filter would be close to Bama Dave's.
Yeah.
But since my mom passed and like my aunt that's like I'm the closest with, she cusses like a sailor and probably taught me most of the bad habits that I have anyway. So it doesn't really. I'm never gonna get a call from her like Oren. Like my mom would be the one like, why are you talking like that? But like I said, since she's gone, I tell people all the time, my mom and dad, bro, I do whatever the fuck I want.
I swear to God, that's the only way you'll ever get me to laugh at a statement like that. You sick bastard. But yeah, you can always catch this stuff, YouTube, Audio Realm, all of that place, man. You can follow us on Twitch. We got our Twitch handles up here, but if you're listening to the audio version, I'm at the Kai Tai Show. You can follow the show at Smacked Raw Pod. You can also follow Alison at Just a Girl 98. I think 98. She'll correct me in the chat if I got that wrong.
Did you get that wrong? I think you got that wrong.
Yeah, and then RN, while you're looking it up to fact check me, RN's is at Mr. 8984. And you spell out the entire word Mr. It's not just MR.
It's 1918.
1918. What did I say? 98? Just a Girl 98?
It sounded wrong. I wasn't for sure what it was, but I knew that didn't sound right. It's 1918.
Oh, okay. Just a Girl 1918. There we go. Speaking of which, Alison's in the chat. Same with Marie. Yeah, thank y'all for joining us.
We got to get Marie on for G1 update.
Yeah, we got to update G1 because all we've covered on here is nights 1 and 2. We'll get her at some point in August, and she'll catch us up for sure. Speaking of going back to what you asked about, with the only other thing too that didn't translate on television is their flipping lights. Oh, Just a Girl 918, excuse me, not 1918. But they would shine spotlights into the crowd, and I got it. It was from their panning shots when they wanted to highlight like the whole stadium. But dude, it blinded the hell out of us. One of the chants that did not make it onto the show was we were chanting like "We can't see" or "Stop the light," something like that. Either way, it was distracting as hell for a minute there. Yeah, we can't see. That's right. Oh man. Oh, and Will's in here too. Will wants us to plug him.
What's up, Will?
Yes. Follow Will on Twitter at @the_Will_Gray GRAY. Will, you gotta change that up to not have so many underscores. Your name's a mouthful whenever you say it out loud. And then you can follow the Botch Spotch and Chair Shots Twitter account too, man, because they're always putting out awesome content.
Right.
All right, I think we've plugged enough. I think we plugged everything.
I think that's the first time we plugged everybody on the show, honestly.
Yeah, we should probably do it more. We should probably support them more. I think they support us on their show.
Yeah, they do.
They do? All right, that's good. Alison also wants me just to clarify. I told her we were going to shoot this show yesterday. She said there's no chance in hell. Turns out she was right. So...
Oh, I knew we weren't going to be able to shoot last night. That's why I asked you.
It had nothing to do with me being tired. It was just, it took a lot longer to get back than we originally anticipated. I thought I was going to be back in town around like 7-ish. I didn't take into account that we lost an hour because we were crossing time zones.
Right.
And then also, we just took longer in between stops. I got to say, though, here's my one funny wife story of the show. I think we'll just make this a weekly thing.
A weekly segment.
Yeah. I won't draw this one out. Though. So we made it a point whenever we go on vacation now to eat at places that we have not ate before, right?
Right.
I think that's really stupid if I travel and I'm eating at the same places that we eat here.
Oh, that's our rule too. We are not eating anywhere that we have at home.
Yes. So on the way home, me and Jess stressed out, right? Getting a little stressed. Jessica has some trouble with the GPS, and I'm getting testy. I'm like, look, it says our turn. You're going to miss our turn, whatever. I start backseat driving like an asshole. She starts yelling at me. We're both hot, right? We're both hot. Well, she's like, I got to stop and take a piss. So I reroute us to the closest restaurant. And I swear to God, what I'm about to tell you is a complete flipping coincidence, okay? But she was like, I gotta pee. So I hit the GPS, like the finder route. I hit restaurant. I hit the closest location, okay? And I don't know if you've heard of this place. It's called Twin Peaks. If you've heard about this place, it's already hilarious to you. If not, I'm going to describe Twin Peaks to you. My brain went to, I guess there was like that surreal show back in the 80s. Like this really weird show. So, and then when I see this place, it's like a giant log cabin, looks really old-timey. It says like on the side, engraved in it, it says like something along the lines like food, drinks, scenic view. And I'm like, oh, cool. So another little country place, because we've been eating at a lot of country places while we were out. Mind you, like I said, Jess is on her last nerve. I'm just like freaking nerved up too. Well, we get in there. We get in this place, right? The hostess is wearing kind of like a low cut top. I was like, whoa, okay, cool. Well, lucky me, I guess. And they take us to our seats. And then I notice like every chick is walking around in like a plaid bra. And they all, let's say, have a very large bust. This place turns out it is country Hooters is what Twin Peaks is. Had like a 98 male percent ratio. Oh. Every chick. Yes, dude. Allison's saying it's worse than Hooters. It is, bro. It was so derogatory.
Damn, that's awesome. Worse than Hooters?
Oh my God, dude. It was awesome. But anyways, Jess,
I thought you were gonna say it was a strip club. So as soon as you said
it was as close to a strip club I think you can get, bro. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable taking my kids in there. Like I would not. And
That's fire.
yo, Jess was so pissed. She was
I'm surprised she didn't
so
punch you.
angry. Dude, she was crying in front of
Whoa.
the waitress. Like, the waitress came out and was like, "Can I get y'all something to eat?" I ordered, and she froze up and started crying. She was so mad.
No.
And she was like, "You picked this out like super," like, she's like, "You picked this out on purpose?" And I was like, "I swear to God, I just picked the closest restaurant. I had no idea. I've never heard of this place." And I tried to explain it to her, and I was like, "Great." I was like, "Damn it." And I was like, "I look like such an asshole right now." And I was like, and the fact is like, all these waitresses and all these like women that are walking by us, they don't know why Jess is upset. They don't know that we've been in a car, like driven like 16 hours over 2 days, and we're stressed the hell out. So now they probably think I'm some asshole and like yelling at my wife and stuff, and
drug her into a restaurant.
and drug her into this, bro. It was, oh my God, dude. It was so bad. I will say this, after like 10 agonizing, longest 10 minutes, she came around and loosened up, and we had a good rest of our visit. But that first bit was agonizing, bro. So yeah, if you're traveling
now
to
I gotta check Twin Peaks out.
if you're traveling to Tennessee, I highly recommend Twin Peaks. Highly recommend
so
it.
fire.
Yeah. Spuddy says, "Love you, Kyle. I enjoyed when you kicked the baby and said it wasn't my fault. Will you be returning to the ring anytime soon?" Yeah, Spud, I'm not really into the Snitsky jokes. If you find them funny, that's cool, man. But it's cool, man, I guess. I'm not really a Snitsky. I would like to think I'm more of like an Eric, from the Viking Raiders, to be honest with you. But
Right.
whatever greases your wheels there, Spuds. Anyways, SummerSlam RN. What'd you think of it in a nutshell?
It's time to play the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything. I don't even know if they really changed much, but just the vibe of everybody. Even Michael Cole and Graves made a joke. Like, I liked it better when you didn't have an opinion, and Cole was like, "Things have changed now. Things are different." And I was like, "Oh my God!" I popped. That was probably the first time I popped for something Michael Cole said, and maybe the history of me watching wrestling. But yeah, just everything you could tell. Everybody kind of had like, I don't want to say a weight because I don't think it was like that bad, but you could tell that the whole vibe. It was a whole fucking vibe. Everything was different. It was crazy.
Wherever we were sitting, the crowd was super enthusiastic. Whether they were cheering the same people, like, I will say this, like where we were seated, a very split part of the audience. Like, it felt like during every match, like everyone around us was split on who they were cheering for, which was pretty fun.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But nonetheless, everybody was enthusiastic. I was too. I think what really set the tone was that opening match with Becky and Bianca.
Right.
They tore the house down. It felt like the match that we should have got at last year's SummerSlam. And then the big reveal that not only was Bayley back, but she was with this faction of Dakota Kai, who was released back in April. Which, by the way,
I forgot that. I forgot she was released.
by the way, there was this person, I don't know who it was, like next to me, losing their stuff over Dakota. I mean, I was excited. Like, everybody was cheering, but I'm talking like they were having a meltdown. They were so excited for Dakota. And then Io Shirai came out, who's been since renamed to Io Sky. You know what? I don't really have a problem with the rename, RN. The bigger problem I have is they changed the spelling of Io. Like, I don't mind Sky. Yeah, I don't mind. They changed their name to Io Sky, which, yeah, whatever. Sky, it's close enough. I'll get used to it. But I believe, if I'm correct, Io was spelled just I-O. But I'm assuming they needed to dumb it down for us, so they re-spelt it as I-Y-O. Which
I didn't even pay attention to that. I'm not even necessarily saying it's a bad rename, because some of them have been atrocious, but
at least this is
just
really
rename.
close.
Right, but it's just why? What do you need the rename for at all? Like, why? Like, what is, like, I don't get what is the point from changing it, and then changing it to something almost exactly the same as what her name fucking already was.
Yeah.
Like the Walter one, I know we give people a lot of shit we give him a lot of shit, but Walter's his actual name. So like I knew they were gonna change his name because they had to do it for WWE money and business purposes. But like Io Shirai to Io Sky, like what the hell was the point? Like
I mean, at least that's not that bad because if a lot of the times, like if she and I get like the reasoning is mainly because WWE builds so much value in you. The thought process is if you do leave us, we don't want all that value to leave with you because of the name.
Right,
so we'll change your name, and then that way, when you leave, you might have to rebuild. You don't take that value.
Yeah, but that's not the same. We're not talking about the same thing though. That's not. They're in the company fucking already. Like they just changed Jordan Devlin's name to JD Kavanaugh or some shit.
That's
like
a rough
that.
one. Yeah, that's a rough change. I ain't gonna lie. That's a
You
tough
know what
one.
I'm saying? Like that's my thing. Like I don't. If you're coming in, I get that. Like that's par for the course. Like I'm not worried about that. But
It's
when
just
they're
when-
already in the fucking company and they're changing,
And it's not like they changed the character or nothing. Because she was rolled out at SummerSlam as Io Shirai. Like that's
literally.
that's what came up on the graphics. It was overnight. Come Sunday, they had changed her name. So now if they roll the video package on Raw tonight or on SmackDown, more like Raw. It was the Raw title. Yeah. So if they roll that,
they just
back,
came out and attacked a bunch of girls. They've been attacking people all night.
Oh, I don't have it on. I'm gonna catch up like immediately after the show. I have it DVRing right now.
I just know Pam. I love Pam, and her son Jaden, her king, her prince Jaden, and her STNA/RN, whatever she has, because that's what she looks like. She's ready to see the manager. Pam looks like she has mixed kids. That's all I'm gonna say. And then Io Shirai is fucking. I love Io Shirai. Like she was probably my favorite woman on the roster when she was full time. And then I loved
One of the
Dakota
best
too.
entrances in all of WWE, by the way.
Oh, and
her entrance.
She got the entrance too. Like I wish they would keep some sort of make their whole thing in their version because hers is better than fucking Bailey's and Dakota Kai's for sure.
Yeah, Dakota's was pretty generic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, no one cared about her entrance. They just saw Dakota Kai and was like, "Flip, yeah."
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, they've been smoking people all night.
Awesome!
Like the
I
whole
can't wait to turn it on, man. I can't wait. I'd have it on right now like you do, but I'll just get damn distracted. But yeah, I'll say this, man. Io Sky ain't that bad. It's not that bad. There's been much worse names. At least this sounds.
Like I said, I'm not necessarily mad about the name change.
Yeah.
I'm just mad about the name change, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, at least it's suiting for her character. She's got one of the best moonsaults in the business. You know what I mean? She was. Oh no, she wasn't one of the Kabuki Warriors. That's right. That was Asuka and Kairi Sane, not Io. Yeah. Jess messed me up on that. She asked me that the other night, and my brain couldn't get off. I was like, I don't think she was, but I can't think of who it was.
No, it was Kairi Sane and
Asuka. Asuka was the one I was forgetting. I knew Kairi was one of them, but I was like, I don't think it was her. But yeah, that faction rolled out, and like I said, that set the tone. Set the tone for the whole night.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, we know the gloves are off. Anything could happen. Sure enough, anything did. So let's run through some of the stuff that happened. Let me pull up the match card. Should have done this earlier. So we'll just briefly run through these matches and then kind of go over what stood out, what was pretty cool. Let's see here. Oh, great. These are not in order. That's fantastic. Okay. Oh, you know why they're not in order? Is this article that I pulled up like a dumbass was before the show. There we go. I don't care if they're in order or not anymore. We had a Logan Paul and the Miz. Yeah, Logan Paul and the Miz were up. I believe they were second on the card. Yeah, they were. They were second. Dude, I hate that people were cheering for Logan Paul, man. flipping hate it, man. I hate it so much. You muted yourself, bro.
I think it was something went wrong with it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
What's all happened? Something happened with my microphone.
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But no, he was still getting booed. You can definitely hear the boos,
Yeah.
even on TV.
Yeah, I noticed that when I went back and watched the broadcast, the microphone seems to be like right on that initial crowd, like the floor audience. So some of the cheers were different than, right. Obviously than where I was sitting. But no, people around, they were complimenting him like, "Oh, he's good" and stuff. I was, the lone Miz fan in my section. Although no, actually there was some kid like screaming gigantic balls the whole time. Too. I appreciated that kid.
I just don't think that. I mean, I think they're making a mistake trying to make him a face. I mean,
do you think that's still the plan going forward? I'm trying to think. He didn't do anything outright heelish. In fact, he was booked as the babyface the whole time because he had to overcome both Ciampa and then of course Maurice in that match.
He looked damn good. I mean,
yeah.
I can't not say that. Like, especially on TV. His body and everything, like he just came across as a fucking star. Like he came across and he looked like a wrestler. Like he performed like a wrestler. He looked like a wrestler. Like he just looked like he belonged. But I think that they always, like I said, it's this old Vince thing. It's like everybody is not a superhero just because you're the superhero in your story. Like he is a face. Like I mean a heel. Like his whole life he's a heel. Like why not use that? Like I definitely would have rather seen him and Miz with some shit together than a match against each other. But I mean the match was dope. I can't complain about any of it, like I said, besides that. So I mean, and him only having one or two matches and hitting that damn fucking splash on the table and stuff and not killing himself and Miz, like I said, some people are just naturals at it, and we've been getting lucky to get these celebrities that actually can go in the ring and aren't just fucking like coming in throwing terrible working punches and shit, you know what I'm saying?
That begs the question, do you think that's by design? Or do you think WWE's just lucked out? Or do you think that's part of their process now of, like, okay, you're a celebrity, you got some hype to you, but if we want to use you, put you in, we need you to be, like, at least par. Because, like I said, as good as Bad Bunny was, he held his own, he was pretty much par, Right. He hit that Canadian Destroyer. That was a huge highlight, of course, everyone points out. Logan Paul was above par. Well above par.
Yeah.
I'll say that Logan Paul struck me as I don't like complimenting the guy, because my personal taste, I'm not really into him. But he struck me as he did come across like a wrestler. He came across like a professional wrestler, man. He knew what the hard cam was. I mean, him being that YouTube personality obviously has played dividends into being him able to like work with the crowd.
Know where his cameras are, know where his spot should be, know where he needs to be. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
his timing's on point.
Yeah, ridiculous timing for a person with only 2 matches. Like he was blowing up a little some of the match, but again, boxing and all the shit that he does is not the same as wrestling. So, like, I'm not even going to give him shit for that, but he still looked damn fucking good. Like, I mean, he looked like you said, he looked like a wrestler. Like, his physique, his gear. Like, I wish he had got some different gear than the same one he had wore from WrestleMania, but still, like, it was just fire. Like, and he took it fucking serious, which I knew I didn't think that he wouldn't. Because, like, as much as a dick he is, as much as we hate him, like, he takes all his businesses extremely serious.
He works hard, man.
He does. So that's one thing you can say a bunch of shitty stuff about him, but the one good thing you can say is he works hard and he's about his paper and he doesn't half-ass a fucking thing. And that's making stupid YouTube videos or boxing. So like I was thoroughly impressed, and the more I see him, I'm more and more impressed. So I hope we get to actually see him do some more shit and not just like only on pay-per-views, because I feel like that's gonna hold him back a little bit, but for the most part, it was dope.
I mean, I don't know the specifics, but everything I saw was he signed a long-term deal. So I imagine, I don't think he'll work like a full-time schedule, but I imagine at some point he'll get involved in a story where he shows up like on weekly episodes, kind of like Ronda has. Ronda's not full-time, but when she's involved in a story, you can count on her to pop up on SmackDown pretty frequently. Yeah. And I think they did the same thing, with Brock more or less too. But yeah, that was good. I'll say the one thing that my takeaway from that match, actually, believe it or not, had nothing to do with Logan Paul or The Miz. My takeaway was the spot where AJ Styles, at one point Ciampa got involved. He got kicked out of the match. He refused to leave, and out came AJ Styles and ran him off. And this thought that's crossing my mind is strictly because now Triple H is behind the head of the creative. Now I'm excited because now I'm expecting some type of feud between Ciampa and AJ Styles. Maybe Ciampa leaves the Miz's side and does his own thing, and we finally get like NXT Ciampa.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think that
I haven't watched Raw. I'm watching Raw. That's not happening.
That's not happening. Ah, damn. Shoot. All right. Well, hey, look, that was my takeaway, and apparently it's already wrong. All right. Afterwards, when the sun started to set, it was setting for the Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory match. This was, I don't know, more of an angle, I think, than a match. What do you think? This was more or less just to set up Theory for later the night. Shit. Yeah. I will say one thing, though. All of us that said Bobby Lashley was ruined, Bobby Lashley was washed, anybody that thought WWE didn't give two craps about Bobby Lashley, man, they did everything they could to make that guy still look like a world beater.
He's their number one babyface. Like, anybody that thinks that, you clearly haven't been paying attention to the internet. Like, they had him listed as the number one babyface even before Cody went out. So, yeah. I said that the U.S. Championship was going to be propped up because Roman has both of them, and that's what's happening. They got it on their number one babyface, and he's out there looking like Bobby. I still hate the smiley shit, and it makes me want to puke.
He does it on beat, man. He's
not on beat. No, he does not do it on beat. He messes it up. That's the thing. This corny white dude messes it up every single time, bro. The crowd, it's like two white guys trying to give each other a high five and they miss. So he's going one way, the crowd's going another way. It just never lines up right at all. But same thing. Like, I'll take smiling Bobby if that means he's still gonna be fucking people up, tossing people around the press slam into the hurt lock.
That was good. That was a thing
dope.
Of gorgeous, man. Thing of beauty.
It looked so smooth too. Like, it didn't even look like an accident. Like that.
No.
I hope he turns that into like a real version of it because that was fucking dope.
Yeah, Theory did this whole like jump through. He went from the ring apron to the inside, jumping through the ropes, doing like a little like roll as he landed. Thinking about like Ali, how he would set up his neck breaker in the same method. Right. And when he jumped up, he jumped straight into a press slam from Lashley. But instead of dropping him on his face, Lashley literally dropped him into the hurt lock. It was such a gorgeous combination. And then, of course, topped off with Theory tapping out immediately. This is something that I love as like a combat sports fan. I love the ideas of submissions and knockouts happening with very little to no setup. Yeah. Just a big moment, a big move, and the match is done. And that's exactly how this was.
And not all submissions, though, but like a submission like that from Bobby Lashley, like that no one should be lasting more than a couple seconds. Like that should be instant. I don't give a damn who it is. Nobody should last in that. Like he should be tossing them around. They should be tapping immediately.
Immediately.
So I also felt that, like, and just like you said, the spot to set it up was fucking dope. And I don't think we've ever seen anything like that. That was fire.
No, it was. Yeah, I mean, I know it's a meme at this point, but I mean, it really came out of nowhere. Like it was awesome. Then we got Edge's return, man. Okay, so this, I'm not gonna lie, part of the live crowd, we pretty much had this spoiled for us because we watched the platform come out and it was on fire and nobody was like, I wonder who's that's for. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we saw it. So I'm
kind of disappointed.
Yeah, dude.
Because like those vignettes and everything were so dope and like had us guessing so much and like
it's just short hair Edge, man. Although he already had short hair. He already had short hair, man.
He didn't.
Just he's dressing in red.
I'm watching now, and he's doing his promo. I was hoping he'd come. I want that. Why can't he get his own faction like he wanted to? Like that would be perfect. Like give him his own damn faction. Like and not with the lame ass Mysterios. Like
Maybe he's a flight risk. They're like, oh no, we can't give you a faction because you might get cold feet again, and we don't wanna risk it.
oh man, the shirt's dope. But
I'll have to, like I said, I'm gonna have to go back and watch. You're watching Raw, so you're already seeing how this plays out a lot. I'll say, man, I
don't really know what's playing out. I'm just kind of like some things, like right before we started recording, I was watching, but I got him. I got it playing in the background. I just saw him out there, and like nothing happened. So
my angle from where I sat though was better than what you saw on television. I can say that with all honesty.
Oh yeah,
because I was sitting from the side, it looked like Edge was on fire. Like I couldn't, because I mean he had probably about like 8 foot to eat left and right of those big fireballs that were coming up. But from my angle, since it was like the side profile view, he looked like he was just engulfed in flames the whole time. It looked freaking awesome, dude. It was fantastic.
It came off awesome on TV too.
Yeah. Okay.
But that intro just always does, being that it's Edge and shit, just like the flames. You can see the flames in his glasses and shit and everything. Like it just looks cool, no matter what. But like I said, it was a letdown for me. It was Edge, and I like this fiery Edge, but I love heel Edge so much more.
Yeah,
like, he just makes so much more sense. But I mean, this tweener version is not bad. I just want them to give him a damn faction, man.
Yeah, it is kind of anticlimactic when you when you sit down and think about it for more than 2 minutes. The man was, he's still like, even though he came back in 2020, the 2020 Royal Rumble, he still feels like he's still brand new, just got back because he had the long layoffs due to injury. It's he still feels like, like he just got back. So the idea that he got beaten out of a faction, he took all of a month, 2 months maybe off.
Right.
It was never going to be like huge, like.
And the fact the faction has been ass since he left it. Like it actually had some sort of potential and like had some sort of like sort of buzz, like a buzz with it. You know what I'm saying? And then now like they don't give a fuck about fans. So like I don't know why they thought that would like it was a clean transition into it. Like I don't know, it's such a step back and like such a disappointment because I love everyone involved. I mean, I'm not so high on Rhea, but I love Priest and Finn and Edge as a heel. So like it just went so perfect with him with the dark suits and everything, with being like I don't know. Like I said, it was a disappointment to me that they swapped him out. Now we just got plain ass old Edge again. So.
Yeah, it is one of those things where it's like I'll have to be sold on it. I'm not in the dumps about it, but I'm not. He's going to need more than just face value Edge. You know what I mean? It's going to have to be more than just like, oh, Edge is on TV for me to get really excited.
Like I said, I'm not, and that's nothing. I'm not saying that Edge is ass or anything like that, or you know what I'm saying? Like I'm down for it, but it's just like the stuff with Judgment Day was so different and so like not groundbreaking, but just a little bit different from what we get from Edge. Like I was so fucking high on that and like hyped for that. And for it to just go back to just regular rated R superstar, like it's gonna be dope because Edge is dope, and there's almost probably no one as good on the mic as him on the roster, on Raw's roster for sure. So like we're gonna get dope promos and intense promos, but just like same old.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see where it goes. I mean, I'm sure Edge. Part of the thing with him being back is he wants to be creatively fulfilled. He doesn't. Right. He knows that he's on borrowed time, and he doesn't want to just ride it out and just like go through the motions until his career's up. So I will remain optimistic for the fact that Edge will probably fight for him to be part of something interesting, right, instead of like just happy to show up on Raw every week. So, but yeah, you're right. In the current in the moment right now, we need something. We need just a little bit extra for him. Moving on to Pat McAfee and Happy Corbin. What do you think of McAfee's song? WWE decided not to license Seven Nation Army, which that's the entrance music he used at WrestleMania. But they definitely tried to make something as close to it as possible, man. They tried their ass off. What'd you think about it?
I never really paid attention to
You
it.
didn't?
So, like, I didn't even like. I was too busy listening to the choir with bum ass Corbin. That's the only thing I took away from that whole thing.
Dude,
The men's choir on top of the roof.
from where I was sitting, I could not find that choir to save the life of me, dude. I was looking everywhere. I could not find where that damn choir was.
It looked like they were on the roof of the stadium, even though the stadium didn't have a roof. Like,
Yeah.
they looked visibly shook from being how high up and like where they were. There wasn't like any like guardrails or anything to protect them. Like they looked concerned while they were singing. Like there was a couple dudes that were like really, really into it. But for the most part, them dudes was like, they were kind of shook, but it was still dope.
Spuddy just chimed in randomly. He says, what do you think of the stable name Kyle Sky?
Troll.
And he says, as a tribute to Kai and Ty. Oh, yeah, I forgot you're actually in the chat now. You can see it. Anyways.
Oh, EO kept her entrance. She's actually coming out right now.
She is? Yeah, I knew she kept her entrance. They just changed the name. Triple H ain't letting that go nowhere. He
knows his bread and butter.
Yeah, man. But as far as the match went, McAfee and Corbin, they did good, man. It's a good match. I'll say this. I'll say that McAfee's matches, they're not sloppy, okay? I don't want this to think like me that
I'm right there with you.
He's not crisp and perfect. And there was a couple moments where, dude, it got real shaky. He almost fell off the top rope before he dove to the outside, and then he did
when
that.
He dove to the outside, he almost killed himself.
Yeah, he almost
hit just enough.
Oh my god! And then he did that spot where Corbin's on the top rope, and he ran and jumped up to the top rope to catch him in that belly to belly suplex, a la Kurt Angle back in the day, you know. Yeah. And he landed on his knees. I'll say this: in both incidences, he recovered. Thankfully, nothing bad happened. I'll say another thing: he's 3 for 3 on banger matches. But damn it, dude, if him in the ring, it's like maybe it's part of the appeal where it's like, man,
right? Well, that's what I was gonna say. That's what it goes to. Like,
we
look at him as a wrestler now, and he's not, but he's still not a wrestler. He was probably the first one to give us the celebrities that ended up being dope in the fucking ring, and I think that's what a lot of it is. Like he's encapsulated himself in the product so much that we look at him like a wrestler, but he's not. He's a punter.
Yeah,
he just happens to pick it up quick and be, because that's only his third match.
Yeah, and he's 3 for 3 for good matches. None of them have been bad.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's only his third match. Like sometimes we got to take a step back and think about that. That's only his third fucking match ever.
Damn it though, he goes for it, man. I'll say, dude, I want him to have. I mean, he's on commentary, so we do get him on the mic all the time. But damn, if he ain't so good with cutting the promos and everything. Also, before we gloss over this, the big thing about this match was Michael Cole. Michael Cole announced before the match even began, because he was joined by Corey Graves, and he was like, "Look, we're gonna be." I forget how he worded it, but he said essentially, this isn't going to be we're not going to call this match like how we normally do. Obviously, we're both biased towards our wrestlers. He laid it out there right there.
Yeah.
He's like, Corey Graves, his longtime friends with Corbin. I'm friends with Pat McAfee. That played into it so well. Listening to them cheer their boys on.
Right. That's the part too where Graves was like, I liked it better when you didn't have an opinion.
Yeah,
and
man.
Cole was like, well, things have changed. Things are different now. And that's when I knew the Triple H. To me, that's when the Triple H era officially began, when Michael Cole said that, because it did feel like that.
Did you see the meme online of saying when Michael Cole found out he was about to call a pay-per-view without Vince in his ear, and it was the clip from Spider-Man, the latest one, No Way Home or whatever, with all the other Spider-Men.
Yeah.
And he cured Doc Ock, and Doc Ock was sitting there. He's like, the voices, they're gone. He's like, it's so beautiful.
To me, that was the official start of the Triple H era when Michael Cole said that.
Oh yeah.
He would have never in fucking a million years have said that if Vince was in his ears.
No. He was able to, in the previous Pat McAfee matches, he was able to cheer and admit that he was friends with him.
Right.
But he just gets to lean into it so freely. And once again, this could be us projecting that Vince isn't there, and so these things are groundbreakingly different. But it just shows that it's the thing about it is now we get to look at WWE with this renewed, and it's in the title, it's this renewed optimism towards where they're going in the future. Because beforehand, we could be like, yeah, they're probably going to show up, give a badass SummerSlam. They're going to give us a whole bunch of things we're not used to. But then tomorrow on Raw or whenever, it's back to the usual. Nothing matters. You know what I mean? But now there's this renewed sense of like, I can't wait to see where this goes. Like, I can't wait to see.
Wait till you see Raw, like how Raw started out and everything. Like,
I believe it, man.
It's official. I didn't think it would be this soon. Like, I thought they'd play it out at least to the next pay-per-view because you know how long-term they do everything, but no.
You got me excited, man.
The fucking ground running.
I can't wait, buddy. I can't wait.
And there's nothing even, like, crazy going on, but just, like, I'm only, like, barely watching. I watched, like, a half an hour before we got started, and it just feels different. Like, and it's you can genuinely feel that it's a different show. Even though it's the same 3-hour show we've been watching for 30 fucking years. It just feels different. The vibe of it, like, it's crazy.
Well, it's not like WWE needed this like giant facelift. It's not like they need to rebuild it from the ground up. They literally just need to tweak their ability in storytelling, their willingness to utilize new wrestlers like NXT wrestlers, giving people shots, tell like just a little bit more 3-dimensional storytelling, just little
some pop culture references that people in this decade I can stop doing shit from the 80s and 90s.
Bringing up movies from the 80s, yeah, because you're what's your show? It's meant for children, but yet you put out like references to stuff that even some parents are too young to understand and get. Man, it still kills me that it was like 2 years ago or whatever, but it still kills me that when Dolph Ziggler made a Twins reference. I can't even remember exactly what it was. I just know it was on SmackDown, and it was one of the worst.
We did it. We covered it on one of the shows. You brought it up.
Yeah, it was like one of the most clearly like, dude, you are so way out of touch. And it still baffled me that Dolph. I mean, well, Dolph's a good company, man. It was probably nothing to him. Like, oh, you want me to reference Twins? Cool, whatever. I got you. You know what I mean? But yeah,
I'm hyped for NXT too to see how he puts his spin on that.
Yeah. So we had the tag team championship match, the Usos and the Street Profits with Jeff Jarrett. So I'll say this: Jeff got a pretty good ovation in Nashville. They were happy to see the man out there. His entrance was cut off though. He got like pretty much a basic ref entrance. I was expecting him to come out like get a full entrance, but they played his music initially. He got like halfway to the ring, and then they cut to advert. And so all the lights blacked out, and Jarrett just like quietly walked into the ring. So, and then he honestly, he didn't really play into the match that much. He called it down the middle. There was no guitar shot.
No, I didn't even, like, I completely forgot he was even the guest referee.
All he did was he was just like a more assertive ref. I'm not going to lie. Once again, I get it. He was literally there just because Nashville's his home, and they wanted to give him a spot longer than like a backstage segment. So they just made him, but he didn't play. He didn't play into the finish of the match at all, man.
It wasn't some Triple H shit. I would say that he probably had more going on, but they probably nixed a bunch of it once you're like, bro, we don't need to do that. Like, have your moment because it's Nashville. And let's get the hell out of here because he's not even a Triple H guy. Like, Triple H, if he was going to bring somebody to be a special referee, it would have been somebody much more compelling, somebody we gave more fuck about than Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah. Alison says he did give the guitar shot last night in Ric Flair's final match. By the way, anybody that's listening to this, yes, we are shooting this after Ric Flair's final match. I at least am going to go back and watch that match. And I'll include some comments on it on next week. So by that point, if you are interested in that match, you've probably already seen some content about it. But I'm going to go back. I'm going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it too.
Yeah, and then we'll give some thoughts on it. I'm not going to watch the whole event. Honestly, I'm not really interested in the whole event. I am going to watch that match, though, just to see how it plays. I already know the finish and everything, but I want to see it for myself. I'll say one thing.
Bleacher Report even reported on it.
Yeah, I will say one thing about this, though, that I did see. I saw a lot of people hating on him doing his strut, saying Flair can't do his own strut anymore. I will say this, dude. Objectively, he looked like a man in his mid-70s trying to do a Ric Flair strut. I don't know what you guys expect, man.
I guess everybody forgets he had to learn how to walk and talk again, like a year or two ago?
Yeah, he was in a coma. I remember when he was in a coma. That's what I'm saying.
He had to learn how to talk again and everything. People are so, he's fucking 80 years old. Relax, bro.
Yeah. Alison was messaging us before the match began because they went to StarCast and they saw him and they were like, dude, he looks so frail. And he does. It's not like he's like a jacked up Vince McMahon type. Flair's always been like a frail body type anyways, unless he was absolutely in his prime.
Even in his prime, he was a dad body. He didn't have he wasn't no crazy body guy. No. He was always a decently in shape dad bod.
Yeah. So whether your thoughts on should he have had the match to begin with or not, that's a whole other topic. But people critiquing how he looked in the ring, dude, I don't know what you expect. I don't know what you're expecting out of that man. Right. All right, moving on. By the way, Usos picked up that victory, and it was a good match. It was a good match. Street, if it's already happened, don't effing tell me. But Montez Ford really does look like he's inches away from breaking off.
It didn't happen. It was actually a dope segment with him and Seth.
Okay. Last up, almost rounding out the show here. Riddle came out. Nothing. This was a nothing segment. Right. It was pretty. It was neat. Because it was. I think it was following the Drew McIntyre. Oh, by the way, really quick, funny thing about Drew McIntyre segment where he just came out and announced, addressed that he's gonna, win the belt at Clash of the Castle. He did cut that funny joke about saying Brock and Roman for the first time ever. That was actually pretty funny. Everybody in the crowd was laughing. But no, during the tag match, we saw a whole bunch of security looking like they were stretchering a guy out of the runway. We thought that somebody had jumped the railing and then, I don't know, got hurt or something. So all our whole section saw that security, and it was multiple of them. We couldn't see what they were doing, but they were bending down and obviously lifting something together. And it was a group thought that it was they were stretchering a guy, but then they all just left it, and then the security team of 8 or 9 guys just left. And we learned right afterwards it was the platform that Drew stood on. Drew stood on a platform. Yeah. But in the moment though, we were shook, bro. We were like, oh great, and it also didn't help that before we got to see that Riddle jumped in the ring, and that legitimately from where we were sitting looked like a fan rushing the ring. Got us.
Right. I forgot. Yeah, he ran through the crowd.
Yeah, it got us, man. It got us. Obviously, we knew it was Riddle the second he stood up. There was no denying that long blonde hair. Right. But yeah, it was a pretty wacky couple minutes there. But yeah, Riddle came out and got stomped by Seth Rollins. That was weird, man. Do you think they just wanted to slim the show down some, and that's why they cut the match?
That, and I think that match is going to probably be for the number 1 contendership after
Clash.
Yeah.
Because in hindsight now, it is kind of weird because one of the biggest things leading into the pay-per-view was people wondering Seth's going to have a mystery opponent or, something along those lines. A lot of people were saying Bray Wyatt's going to return to SummerSlam. I even heard that a couple times. But it ended up being nothing. Yeah, Riddle just came out.
I just think it's going to end up being a number 1 contenders match.
You're probably not wrong there.
Well, I've seen Raw, so.
Bastard, you're ruining the whole show for me, Aaron.
No, nothing happened. He just came out and challenged Roman, and then he had the segment with the Street Profits.
You're ruining the whole show for me. Damn it.
Sorry, bro.
It's okay. It's all right. I'm still gonna watch it. What'd you think of Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey, bro?
I don't know. I'm just not into Liz. I'm just not.
No? It was weird, man. I mean, we knew. I feel like everyone I spoke to kind of felt the same thing. Liv's gonna somehow win, but there has to be shenanigans because she ain't gonna just beat Ronda clean. Like
Right.
we knew that wasn't gonna happen, and
Right.
the story that they told, essentially Liv was like squashed. She was completely destroyed, and then just they did the whole Ronda had her shoulders down during an armbar, but Liv tapped out at the 2, which doesn't make Liv look that good. I ain't gonna lie. We'll have to see what they do with that. But Ronda now has a habit of like these weird losses, man. Not to mention also, like, I ain't gonna lie, if you watch that replay, her left shoulder isn't on the mat. This is another time that Ronda got pinned with her shoulder accidentally not being flush on the mat. Now it's not.
And apparently she got suspended too. Supposedly.
Oh yeah, because she kicked the shit out of Liv and the referee.
Right.
Yeah. But Ronda has this weird habit now of when she's supposed to take these pinfalls, that she's not quite in the position she needs to be in, because that obviously notoriously happened at WrestleMania in the Triple Threat. And then, like I said, it's not as noticeable in this match, but if you look for it, if you look for it, you'll see the shoulder ain't down.
I'm just like the Liz thing. I mean, Liv or whatever. I try to get behind it, like try, but it's just the crying and then the I'm just happy to be here stuff. Like it's just like I'm not into that type of baby face at all, and it's just not her. Like we're used to her being this crazy ass like fucking Harley Quinn type character for most of her career, and then now all of a sudden she's crying and emotional, and like I'm just so happy.
She's like the passion-filled underdog.
That shit is lame, bro.
Her
That's
whole
not
thing,
her
whole thing about in the match against Ronda was like, you don't want this as bad as I do. There's no one as passionate as me. But
that doesn't come across though. That's just what she says.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I don't hate Liv.
I'm glad they tried something different. I can't say that.
And like I said on the last show, they had to put the belt on her at some point. Like their time was running out on pulling the trigger. I
think they just did it way too late.
Yeah, I don't think it's too late. I just don't think they told the right story. I'm not a fan of them every year now for the last, I think, 4 years, I want to say. The winner of the Women's Money in the Bank cashes in
immediately.
Like within 24 hours. It's WWE just doesn't want it. And I mean, it's a long ways away, but I kind of think that'll change next year. I think Triple H will see the value in having those briefcases essentially work like we talked about with Will from Botch, Spots, and Chair Shots, work as like a secondary title. Like it's like almost like running around with a championship belt, man. It has some really good appeal. Last up, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, last man standing. God damn it. Every time we complain about these two guys meeting up again, they show up and they somehow outdo their matches from beforehand, and we all sit there. We're just like, God, how do you keep doing this? Listen, man, this match was short, like nothing short of amazing. Now, it doesn't have the strongest opening. However, Brock getting in that damn tractor, everybody in that audience, bro.
Oh, yeah. I knew the tractor was going to be used for something. I figured he was going to try and like pin him with it or something, like trapping him under it. Like, I didn't think he was going to fucking tip the fucking ring over. That was insane.
Listen, man, if you want an idea of how long damn it, I did cuss. I almost got through the whole show. If you ever want to know how long Roman Reigns' entrance is, it was like Roman Reigns was like halfway down the ramp and they had enough time to pull that tractor out and get it in position. It's not like it sat there the whole show. They literally drove that tractor into position during Roman Reigns' entrance. And then, of course, Brock got it, drove it to the ring. But, I mean, everything, dude, their chemistry was so on point. Everything from Brock announcing himself from the front loader portion of the damn tractor to the tossing of the mic and Roman catching it. the opening of the match was a little weird and slow. I mean, Roman kind of just like meanders Brock through a couple tables, but then by that third act where Roman's going down and Brock literally like the love child of the superplex through the ring and the Stone Cold beer bath. If you marry those two moments, you get the Brock Lesnar tractor, like lifting the ring spot. Jesus, dude.
I wish they had done more in the ring when it lifted up like that, like some more spots on that. But that shit was crazy. That's probably one of the best spots in a long time, at least the last 5-6 years.
It made being there live worth it. You know, it totally made being in that live audience, seeing that, because when it doesn't really translate how dramatic it was when he first hit the ring and he moved it like 6 feet or however much.
Yeah.
On television, I mean, you see it, but from where we were sitting in that sideways view, it looked so violent how easy that ring moved and like just flew up on Michael Cole and Corey Graves. It instantly put everybody on pins and needles, like when they saw that. But going by what you said, I'm pretty sure like before the match they were like, look, we have no idea how the ring's going to probably act. So like the moment we do this, nobody touch it. Because you saw like, it wasn't until after the show like Brock climbed up it. But you're right. It would have been pretty neat if they could have figured out like 1 or 2 more spots.
I figured there was something like that because like you said, like no one touched it. No one went up it. No one climbed on it or nothing. They just let that bitch, like, leave that bitch alone just in case it falls.
Something like it breaks. Because good Lord, the ring could break and you could get impaled by like some broken wood or something. Yeah. No, dude, that was
Final Destination shit, and the cables like chop somebody's fucking head off.
Oh God, man. But that was so cool. Like I said, that spot, it made being there live worth it. It was so cool, man.
The thing about that, Stu, is I was thinking last night when it was happening, like that could have all of this could have been Vince, and he's never gonna get credit for it.
All we're talking about is Triple H, man. Yep, the Helmsley error, bro. Oh my God. Dude, it was so cool. It was. I will say this though, like the writing was on the wall when Brock ate like 2 spears and then got hit with the title belt. Me and Jess promptly got up. We were like, all right, look, time to beat the traffic.
Right, it's over.
Yeah, it's over, bro. It's over. We got up. It was like, excuse me. I was like, pardon me. We're leaving. And
Good night, guys.
Yeah. I think we were just getting out the front when we heard Roman win. I missed an opportunity to take a selfie outside the arena while Roman's end of the show fireworks were going off. I was like 20 seconds too late. I was pissed. It would have been an awesome shot. I was trying to get the Roman like WrestleMania shot on my phone.
Right.
But no. Dude, it was awesome though. I mean, the show was pretty cool, man. Some people are talking about best pay-per-view of the year company, like all companies. Do you think
Close.
You think it's up there? It has to be up there, right?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, even like nothing crazy fucking happened. Like the craziest thing was Bailey returning with a stable.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, like I said, it was just the vibe. Like it was just different. Like even if it doesn't end up being like anything crazy or anything, like this was the cap and the start of the real McMahon Helmsley era. Like this is the start of it. And
one of our favorite sayings, they held true to it. Like here on the Rewind, it was just keep it simple.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't overthink all this stuff. Like, because none of it was really overthought. Debuted a stable. You had commentary sound refreshed and talk like human beings. And you had a big moment in the main event. You know, and other than that, you delivered on like solid pro wrestling. There wasn't really a low spot. I think the only really low point was the Riddle segment felt kind of like unneeded, like unnecessary. But other than that, man, it was the only thing
about the Riddle segment is I was thinking maybe he really is injured, and it's not so much a work as it is.
Who knows?
Maybe it is, and they needed something to really get him off TV till we need him back because he hasn't been back tonight yet so far.
Yeah, who knows, man? But yeah, I mean, like I said, they kept it simple. They didn't overdo it. You know what I mean? I'll give, like, as big of a fan of AEW as I am, you know, we're seeing AEW kind of struggle now because of they packed so much. Now, granted, they're only doing 4 pay-per-views a year. I think maybe 5 now. But we see, like, they tried to give us so many moments in all those pay-per-views. They kind of struggle to keep our attention now. You know, like rolling out multiple debuts on a single show and this and that. This showed, like, SummerSlam, man. They gave us some really easy to digest but big things to get excited about, and it translated to, like, a really fun show, man. It was really cool. I'm appreciative of it.
They're not in forever. They're number one, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
I'll tell you, the perception of the company as of right now has never done a bigger 180. Like, probably in the last 15, 20 years. Of everybody that I talk to, myself included, I'm either excited to show up, you know, because there was 2 things. There's people that get flack. They're like, why do you watch WWE if all you do is complain about it? Those people, this is why, is because you remember when it was good and you've been holding out hope that some changes will occur and it'll go to it. And then you have all the people that did walk away, and listen to how many people are like, yeah, I'm going to tune in now. I'm going to tune in. I want to see what this new coat of paint or whatever, like, you know, is going to be like. Yeah, man, it's exciting, bro. It's exciting, man. I'm excited for WWE. Really am. I still love my AEW. Still love AEW. But that takes, you know, that doesn't have to take away with how excited I can get for my other wrestling shows. Exactly. Enjoying pro wrestling, bro. Man. SummerSlam was pretty damn good.
It really was.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the McAfee and Corbin match and the main event, watching live and then watching, like, broadcast, those were the 2 biggest differences. Like, the rest of them was like nothing dramatic, but those two different, like, were dramatically improved, I would say, watching the broadcast. Except for the ring spot, I will take seeing that ring get lifted and hit with the tractor live over the broadcast any day.
The main thing I took away from it is like I said, the McMahon eras started, and you can pretty much expect Kevin Owens to be a major part going forward, because all the vignettes they did for him last night, and they've just done a couple for him here tonight watching Raw. So, and we all know how Triple H feels about Kevin Owens.
He literally handed him the belt.
He
literally handed him the Universal title.
Roman and handed him the title. And like I said, all his guys are on Raw now too. So Finn, Kevin Owens, all those guys, like, I can't wait for all our indie darling guys to finally get back to prominence. Like Ciampa right now, guest spot on Raw. Like he's going against AJ Styles. The winner goes against Bobby for the U.S. Championship.
All I can picture is guys like Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Shayna Baszler. You know, all I can picture is backstage them kind of like bumping into Triple H and be like, "Hey, Paul, like, you got me right, man. Like, you got me right."
I think they already know. Like Shayna just tweeted something today too. So like, yeah, all my guys, and it's all my guys too.
Yeah,
not just because I'm a Triple H guy. It's all my guys I actually really love, including Shayna Baszler. So
like I don't want to bother you, boss. I don't want to bother you. But, like, you got my back, right? Like, you're gonna...
I cannot wait.
Dude, I know. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. Yeah. You know what we'll do is... This is a pretty good show. We're at a little over an hour. I'm excited to tune into Raw. Tune in next week. RN and I will discuss... I'll give you some homework, RN. Yep. We'll discuss people that we think that have either been released or just free agents in general, that now may be more likely to be signed by WWE than other promotions.
Oh, I didn't get to tell you that part. Apparently, fucking Sasha and Naomi have already been working on getting signed back, and there was a couple places saying that they were gonna come back out tonight.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah. So we'll talk about that on next week's show.
Well, was it ever confirmed? Were they officially released?
So Sasha's was rumored that the lawyers were still jotting up like the terms, but she was gone. Right. And then with Naomi, I think she was just waiting out her contract. But no, neither of them. I don't believe it was ever confirmed that neither of them were like gone. Right. It's just now they're probably more receptive to talking about coming back or just staying. I guess staying would be the proper term. Coming back to television. How about that? Right. Yeah, if you guys like this show, man, consider supporting us on Patreon. Now that I got the live stream stuff almost fully updated, the next thing to tackle, myself and Alison, who's a wonderful help on the show, we're gonna be refreshing that Patreon, offering some new rewards. If you want to get in on it early, head on over to patreon.com/SmackRaw podcast and support us there financially. Help us out, man. We greatly appreciate it. Other than that, once again, follow us on Twitter. RN, what's up with your kennel business? Let them know, the weekly update on your kennel and all that stuff.
Yeah, we got some fluffy Frenchies for sale. Definitely hit me up on Route 4 Kennel on IG or RN Aku on Facebook. We have about 8 litters dropping here within the next 2 months. It's stupid. Every girl in our yard is in heat or pregnant, so got that jumping. Then me and Jelly Bean, August 22nd, Children of the Corn album dropping. We did some videos for that this past week, and our birthdays are coming up. Adam's birthday is tomorrow, actually, and mine's is next Tuesday, the 9th. So we got some shenanigans planned for this weekend that we're gonna film and record and shit. So yeah.
Oh shoot, you Adam's birthday and my good buddy John, who actually is the one that house sit for me while we were in Nashville.
Right.
Hey, they got the same birthday, man. Cool.
Yeah. Literally a week apart, 7 days. So
that's how my brother and I are. Or no, really? My brother and I are 3 weeks apart, but 21 days, exactly 3 weeks.
My older brother and me are 2 weeks exactly, and then my first cousin were 13 days.
No joke. All right, man. Well, you guys, listen, I appreciate y'all tuning in like you always do. Follow us on Twitter, all that fun stuff. And until next time, y'all have a good one.
See y'all next week. Or this week, whatever.
It's Bret the Hitman Hart, the best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
Can you order me some more Reed RNs?